Well. So sorry. Oh, Tonic, da UG Paiavilas. UG Paiavilas. Yep. I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry. Well, that's what happens, you know. You never could tell. Wi-Fi problem. You never could tell. You never could tell. I'm so sorry for this. You never could tell. I don't know what went wrong. I improved the internet. Everything was supposed to be okay, but you never could tell. You never could tell. Well, let's see how many people comes back. Let's see if anybody comes back. Let's see if anybody comes back. And we'll just take it from there. Well, yeah, it's like people are coming back. People are coming back. I think people are coming back, guys. I think people are coming back. Yeah, it's like people are coming back. Thank you for coming back, guys. Ooh, I almost got discouraged right there. Thank you for coming back. Well, don't worry. This message is going to go out. Internet is not going to stop us. It's not going to stop us. We're not going to agree with the internet to stop us. We are not going to be stopped. We are not going to be stopped. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Maybe you go and share the link. Let's go and share this new link so that people will know that this is the right one, because the other one is still going on as well, and so that they could come to this one. So let's go share this link, this so that people will not miss. They will not miss it, and they will be able to find us. Please go share this link if you don't mind. Go back to your share button, to your timeline, and share this link, please. I will just continue right where we stopped. I'm going to continue just right where we stopped. Right where we stopped, okay? So please go share the link. Go share the link, and we'll just take it up from where we stopped, okay? So, well, if you are back, and if you have shared the link, yeah. So what I was talking about is that the very first step to financial freedom, the very first step to financial freedom is savings. Savings. For you to really be financially free, you need to start by saving. It is elementary. And it is not something, some people think that they just need to begin to save now when they don't have money. It is now, they feel it is now that they need to save because, I need to make some money, so I must begin to save. And it's a wrong notion, actually, that is out there. People most of the time think that the reason you need to save now is because you are poor and you need to get rich. That is you just need to practice saving while you don't have money. That you only need to practice saving right now when you are broke, when you don't have money. And that when you begin to really make money, that you will not need to save anymore. But that's not true. That's not true. You need to keep on saving. Even afterwards, after you begin to make money, you still need to keep on saving. And some other people think that, but what about people like Bill Gates and people like Warren Buffett, people who are really rich? What about when you become really, dirty rich? Will you still need to keep on saving? Yes, my friends. You will need to keep on saving at any point in your financial development. So actually, saving is not something that you do. It's not an event. It's not something you do. It's not as an occurrence. It's not something you do once in a while. It's not an occurrence. It's not an event. Saving must be a life process that you develop. It's more than a process. It's a life discipline that you develop. So saving must become a life discipline. It's not just, it's actually, in the first part of the message, I call it a habit. You must make sure that you have developed the saving culture. You must develop into a culture. Saving must become a culture of your own personal financial culture. It must just be a culture for you. And if you are married, if you have a spouse, you're a husband or a wife, you also want to bring that culture to your home and to your family. You want your family to actually imbibe that culture of saving and make sure that your family practice saving as a culture, as a lifestyle. And like I said, people have good habits and people have bad habits. So one of the very good habits that you could develop in yourself is the habit of saving. Just like we have habits of reading the Bible or praying together as a family, or that or personally you read the Bible, you pray to God, you go to church. Those are cultures. Those are habits, good habits that you have as an individual or as a family person or as a home. But now the same thing you need actually when it comes to money. When it comes to money, there are some fundamental habits that you must develop that will help you and enhance your financial freedom. If you really want to be free, for sure, if you want to be financially free for real and be prosperous, the only way to become prosperous financially is by starting with the right culture. And the right culture about finances is to begin to save, And I said saving is not a new idea. Saving is something that has been practiced over the years, over the ages, and in different cultures. And while I was talking about my culture, where I come from, somebody from another country, maybe from Congo or somewhere, was also writing that in their culture they do the same thing. And you could do your individual saving, you could just save by yourself or for yourself, but apart from that, I was just giving an example of the fact that in some villages and some communities, and people sometimes have what they call collective savings or cooperative savings. And what cooperative or collective savings is about is that people in the village, or some people have club, women club, men's club, or youth club, so just clubs. So people in that club come together and bring together a certain amount, but it must all be the same amount of money. So let's say $100, and I think that culture could still be practiced. But the problem is that our world right now is so unreliable and undependable that if somebody could take the money 1 month and then they disappear, they are no more there to contribute their own quota. But in the village where everybody lives together and they know each other and nobody will ever leave that village or that environment, that was a very good kind of contribution. And it could also give, if you are reliable, if you know your people today, it could actually give you a good start. It could be a good start for you when you contribute $100 every month, let's say. And so 1 month, let's say there are 100 people and contributing $100 each, that is $10,000 in a month. So one person that is really in need, take that $10,000 this month. Next month, the other person takes it. Then it goes on like that until it goes round. And I said the downfall of that is that some people, it will take them 3 years before they get their own $100. Before they get their own $10,000. But these people are also very considerate most of the time. They allow people who are in need to get their money first. And that was why I remembered my family and my village where I was coming. So I was kind of giving some education about Yoruba. I'm a Yoruba man, and that's but the larger nation, that's the Yoruba nation. That's about 50 million people in Yoruba land. But apart from Yoruba, within Yoruba itself, we've got some ethnicities, ethnic groups, and so they all are one family, but they have some some names they call different groups within the Yoruba family. So, and this family that I come from, this ethnic group of mine, is called the Ijebu people. Ijebu people. One thing with the Ijebu people, they are famous and notorious for some not very good stuff, and at least that's the way the country looks at it, that they have some negative no negative flair about them, and especially when it comes to money. So, but I mentioned two of those negative things that they call the Ijebus are famous for. But the one that really pertains to what we are talking about today is the fact that the Ijebus like to party. They like to celebrate. They like to organize celebration party and just just gyrate. Just gyrate and okay, you see somebody is writing from Sierra Leone, and it says that in communities in Sierra Leone they still do the collective saving and the corporate saving. Yes, so I think it's popular in Africa, and I think it used to be there in ancient Europe as well. Well, but do you know the criteria? This is where I was going to. I was just about to mention this when my internet went off. Do you know? I mentioned that they know that if you have emergency, that these people are very considerate, that they will make sure that they give you your money first if you have some emergency or not. You can't believe it. Normally the emergency that people have where I come from is always will always have something to do with party. Ijebus, anytime they collect the money like that, they have that collective savings. Everybody is waiting for their own time for them to collect the big bulk. And the reason why they are all waiting for the big bulk and they are dreaming about it is because they want to go party. Nobody thinks about investment. No, I never heard of investment. Nobody ever talk about investment. So my grandmother, when she had to collect her own bulk of the money, I mean, either they are going to bury their mother, or they are going to bury their father, or they are going to bury their mother-in-law. Or they are going to bury their father-in-law, mother-in-law. Even if they don't have anybody to bury, that is the Ijebus are famous for burial parties. Even if they don't have anybody to bury, they will go and do remembrance service of their father that had died 50 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago. So all the money that they had, invested 5 years collecting, or 3 years gathering, all that just going to the air one Saturday. Everybody is wearing new clothes. Everybody is killing some ram and some animal. But the funny thing about that, especially in the Jebu land, is that not minding the fact that they are so addicted to partying, they are also very frugal. They are very frugal, and people know that they are frugal, and they know how to economize money. They know how to, they know how to make money. They make money fast. They come back with money. Somebody in Nigeria, we have another nationality, another nation, a big nation of people we have another big nation of people in Nigeria. They call the Igbos. They are the industrial backbone of Nigeria. They are they are very enterprising. They are the industry. They are the commerce and industry of Nigeria. They are just the backbone of Nigeria economy. So somebody said the Jebus are the Igbos of Yoruba land, but they don't sell. They don't go and sell. They do business. They don't do trade so much, but they build. They do enterprise more. They do more industry. But still, but they are famous and notorious for that, the Jebus. So anyway, so that is very bad. So I'm not talking about that kind of saving. So I cannot just hold on but talk about that. But but what I'm saying is that is a very bad. I would not say culture. You cannot address a whole culture as bad, but I think it's a very bad habit. That's a very bad habit. That's a very bad Yeah, I think it's a culture. Yeah, I think it's a very poor financial culture. That's very bad financial culture. That you save for 2 years or 3 years, and then you go and take all the money and go and put it into some ceremony or some party, just because you want to be respected in the society, or you want people to call you cool, or to begin to say to begin to say that it is it is your party that is the biggest in town, or it is your party that is the coolest, or something like that. So that's so very, very bad. So that's one of the things that people do. And you don't want to do that. I also know these people that I said they are the commercial backbone of Nigeria, the Igbos. They make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. But what they do most of the time is that they go and build houses in the village, which is a good thing though. But sometimes I'm afraid if you build a house in the village, you might be building a liability. I think you might be building a liability, because in the village, the house you build in the village, it's very difficult to convert it to an asset. That is, it's very difficult for you to be making money on that house in the village. Most of the time, you just sustain it and still spending money on it. So you're actually building a liability. So, I mean, the good thing, what I'm trying to say is that, the habit itself of saving is a good one, and we all must cultivate it. But once we save, once we begin to save, there are things that are waiting for you to to collect whatever you have saved. The culture is waiting to collect your saving. The culture that I come from, the party culture, the celebration culture, the festivity culture, festival. We just want you to be, or the vacation. Some people in Europe, some people in Europe, some people they also save money. Even in the country that I live here today, people save money, and you know what they throw the money out into? They throw it into vacation. Some part in this is my culture here. This is my country in Ukraine where I live. Somebody could be saving money a whole year. They save this money for the whole year, and at the end of the year, when summer comes, they just throw everything into the air. It's gone with the wind. It's gone with the wind. I think there was a movie like that, a very famous Hollywood movie. They got Gone with the Wind. Some people's money just go with the wind because especially in the white European here, they just because this area is cold and it's winter most of the time. So when summer comes, like, they just lose their mind. Summer is here, sun is here. So they want to go to vacation. For vacation, they want to go to the sea. They want to go to the sea. They want to go to some island. They want to travel somewhere and want to go and lie down and get tanned. And so they are saving money. Some people will go and sell something so that they will go on vacation. And I think the same thing happens in cultures where there is cold weather. Like, I'm sure the Scandinavians do that a lot. Then Germans are just crazy. No, not the craziest, I think, probably are the British people. British people are just crazy about holidays, about vacations. I mean, British people, Americans, but British and Germans, I couldn't believe when I was in Germany, traveling in Germany, and what they were doing in Spain. I tried to take a holiday one time to Spain. I couldn't believe what Europeans were doing there. I thought Europeans and Germans and English people were cultured people until I got with them on a holiday beach, vacation beach with them in some places like Spain and Portugal. They are just wild animals. I mean, when it comes to vacation, they just become wild animals. But you don't want to do that. The point I'm trying to make is that there are things waiting to consume your money. There are expectations of the culture waiting to consume your money. There is the tradition of wherever you are living or coming from that is waiting to consume your money. There is the culture of the land that is waiting to consume your money. Expectations of people waiting to consume your money. And sometimes even the culture of your family, they are waiting to consume your money. So sometimes it's even no good. I mean, it becomes like, what is the essence of saving in the first place? And I think this is the reason why so many people don't save anymore. Or they save, but they know that whatever they have saved, and what would you have to use it up, and to go and, either to go and party or to go and build some things or buy some things. Some people save and just, squander it and buy the, cars and expensive stuff and things like that. So, but the essence of saving is not for you to show off. The essence of saving is not. Someone is writing, Lola Shorunke, I am both British and Ijebu at the same time. Oh, God help me. Yeah, that's a good laughter we're having. We're having a good laughter here today. Well, I remember when I was in the village, every time the people collected their collective offering, the whole village is waiting for them. Can you imagine if our people could get it right? If they could do collective offering like that, like $10,000 1 month, and you collect it, they could put that in a village. I mean, in a country like developing country, if you put that kind of money in investment, you could actually do a lot. You could go far. But it's a pity so there is power in saving, and there is a lot of advantage there if you know how to, if you know what to do with the money after you have saved it, and if especially if you are taught the secret of investment, because the whole idea of saving is not for partying, it's not for buying flashy cars, it's not for you to go and build another liability upon yourself, it's not for you to go and go on vacation. That is not the reason why we have savings. Savings are only for investments. Investment, that is the real thing that savings are for. So, once you begin to save, you have to begin to think immediately, okay, and begin to look. You have to be on the lookout and begin to search out what kind of investment that you could get this money into, or what kind of business you would like to get that money into. So money is, the savings is only for multiplication. So the purpose of saving is not for addition. Yes, saving is like addition, but that is what the Bible says. Be fruitful. First of all, you start by being fruitful. But so the fruitful one, being fruitful, be fruitful could be what we call the saving stage. But you don't stop there at the saving stage. You go beyond that to multiplication stage. And multiplication stage is when you already begin to trade. When you begin to trade with your money, when you begin to make money or build business or build an enterprise with that money, that is, so you are multiplying the money. But you don't stop there as well. You must be able to go from multiplication into having dominion, into subduing the market, subduing the city, subduing the land with the abundance of what you have produced. And so, so one of the advantages of saving is that you have a starting capital. You have something to start with. You are not just going to borrow to start your business. You are not going to borrow to begin to even do anything. And it's not even a good idea to start your business or venture with borrowing. But sometimes if you can there are good borrowing. You can borrow if you already have, let's say, 70% of the amount you need. So then you can borrow maybe another 30%, for example. That way is good borrowing. But what the idea I'm trying to say today is that we have to develop the culture of saving. And we have to turn it to a culture. We have to make it a habit. And another thing you want to consider doing is that you can always improve your savings. You can always improve your savings. That is, you can always... let's say you start with 10% savings every month. Always, put a target before yourself and say, okay, maybe in the next 3 months, I'm going to go from 10% saving to 15% saving. Then in the following 3 months, I will go from 15% to 20% saving. And then maybe in the next 3 months, within a year, you have 3 months, 4 times, Then you go from 20% saving to 25% saving. Then, by the end of the year, the fourth quarter of the year, you're already going from 25 to 30% saving. So within a year, really, you could discipline yourself and put before yourself a goal that, okay, I'm going to begin to save, and I'm going from where I am today from 10% saving to 30% saving before the end of the year, or before the end of and you could actually get to a point when you'll be saving 70%. Some people, I actually got to a place when I was saving 70%, and I was targeting 80%, and I'm sure I'm going to get to a place when I was saving 90%. So it is possible, and you are not just saving it, but at a point you don't save anymore, in the sense that you don't save to keep it in the house. At a point when you already have businesses going for you, or you already have investments going for you, you automatically save into the business, or you automatically save into the investment. So yeah, so that is what you do. But when you don't have any business yet, and you don't have any enterprise going on, you don't have any investment going on, you at least start by putting it aside. You could actually open a separate bank account where you are putting your your savings. Or you could, I don't know how that idea about, collective saving works, but you could also, if you have a good saving initially, you could begin to put that saving into business immediately. Instead of you making the saving to wait for 3 months or 6 months, you could, okay, if let's say you are saving $300 a month, you could look for what you could start to $300 with, and what you could begin to do with the $300, and begin to start some minor business, through that, and so you begin to multiply that particular seed that you have succeeded in saving immediately. Well, but I want to talk about. Let me talk more about this, about saving. A lot of us have excuses why we cannot save. We all know that. I'm sure we have all met those excuses. We have come across those excuses. Most people give excuse why we cannot save. Is it really true? If we are going to be frank with ourselves, are those excuses really genuine? And I think it boils down to discipline. It boils down to discipline yourself, the ability to discipline yourself. You remember last week I spoke about Uncle Sam? The ability to set yourself free from the control of Uncle Sam will actually influence your saving. So if you didn't listen to that message on Uncle Sam, you go listen to it. I think after you listen to that message, you would like to begin to save very fast. And the other message you want to listen to is how the world system enslaves us. When you discover how the world system enslaves, and you know what is really behind most of our expenses, then you would like to begin to save after that. So if you don't have some of these recordings of my old messages, you could go to my blog, SandeyAdelajablog.com, and all the messages are there in their order. Or you could go to my YouTube page, that's Sandey Adelaja Official, and then you will see them in their order as well. So you need to help yourself. Just hold yourself by the ears and say, listen, I must save. And of course, even if you have, what about somebody might be asking me right now, what about if I have genuine reasons, genuine excuses why I couldn't save or why I cannot save? What are the genuine excuses we say? One, let's see the excuses that we all give for why we cannot save. One of the excuses says, top of the list on why we say we cannot save is because my income is too small. So there is nothing to save from. We say there is nothing to save from because the income is too small. So let's say someone is living in the UK and says, I am making only £800. I actually saw someone like that one time, because that is actually below the ladder. To make £800, I think in the UK a month is too small. Yes, which is true. It's just like saying you are making $500 a month in the US. It's also too small. So But that doesn't mean though that you still cannot save. Even if you are making the least salary in your country, and maybe you are even below the minimum income standard, and you are making very little money, you can still save. One principle that will help you to really save is this: it is not how much you make that matters. It's not how much you make that matters. Either it's big or it's small. It is not how much you make that matters. You know what really matters? It's what you do with that amount of money that you make. Okay, let's say you said, okay, if I'm making $1,000, let's just use $1,000 as the average. Let's say you are making $1,000 and you are saying there is just no way I could save. Why? My kids are going to school. We have a mortgage to pay for the house. I need to rent a house. We are paying for the rent. I have a car. I have this. And you all have these expenses, and you think my salary is too small, so I cannot save. It's not true. It's not true. What about you changing that apartment where you are living in and going to get a smaller apartment? Would that be Would that be possible? Would that be a possibility? Because, I had to do that myself. When I started my church, I was working as a journalist on a television station here in Ukraine. And that company was paying me well. I was getting good money that time, especially when everybody around you was poor. And the company was paying me as a professional. I was one of the directors of the company, actually. So I had this big 3-bedroom apartment. And I was not even married. I was not married, had 3-bedroom apartment, and of course you had to pay for the apartment, okay? And then I had a car, an official car from the company. But when I started my church, when I started the church, I discovered that, hey, the money was going, and it was not going to be enough. And then after a few months of doing the church, I just felt the burden that I was not doing well combining the two, my job and the church. So I just decided to resign. After resigning from my job, the money was not coming anymore, no more income. And I still needed to pay for the rent, not just for my apartment. I needed to pay for the car, I needed to pay for the apartment, and I still needed to pay for the building that we were using for the church. But thank God I was not married at this stage. You know what I did? Thank God I was not married. But even if you're married, you could still do something about it. What I did was I left the 3-bedroom apartment, which was a little bit prestigious. I mean, you are living big, and you are living comfortable. And sometimes we worship comfort, and I like that lifestyle. Just to tell you the truth, I like the lifestyle. I like the fact that I was living more than average. Everyone wants to tell himself I'm a middle class or I'm rich, and so I was counting myself as a middle class, and I was saying, oh, I just finished my master's degree, and here I am with an official car and an apartment that the business is giving to me, 3-bedroom apartment. I'm by myself. I'm not even married. I'll be ready now for marriage and all that. So you sometimes you tell yourself some stories. Those stories might be very endearing. They might sound very nice, or they might they might build up your ego before your friends. And those stories might even be building your own ego by yourself, all by yourself. You are enjoying yourself, and you are enjoying your ego, and you are just happy that that you are a good guy, that you are doing well. But they might not be adding money to your pocket. Ego does not always add money to your pocket. You might be bragging and be happy that you are this, you are that, you are a nice guy. But how much does that add to you every month? Maybe it takes from your pocket. maybe that ego is costing you something. Some of you are living in a house now that is being supported by ego. I mean, it's an ego house, or you are riding a car that is an ego car. So that ego is costing you something. That ego is taking money from your pocket, my dear. Is your ego is a good ego if it's adding money to your pocket? But if that ego is not adding money to your pocket, if he's taking money from your pocket, you better forget about ego. You better take time off. Bury that ego, bury the ego. Forget about ego for some time. Come to your senses, come to your senses. So this is what I had to go through. So throw away the ego. I needed to face that. So from this big apartment, of 3-bedroom apartment, and I was not having my job anymore. First of all, I gave back the car because I couldn't sustain the car anymore because the car came with a driver. So I gave up the car. I gave up the driver because they were not adding money to my pocket. My ego and my self-inflicted ego was being destructive. It was killing me financially. So I got rid of the car. Then I still stayed in the apartment for another month. Then I discovered that my savings were going very fast. So I said, hey man, I needed to tell myself the truth. So I went and gave up the apartment as well. And you will not believe what I did. Thank God I was not married. So because I was not married, I told myself I would not even go and get a small. Someone said your ego was busted, Pastor. Yes, I had a bust of ego. The ego was busted very fast. But I was smart because I'm an Ijebu man. You know, Ijebus are frugal. So I tried to think about what to do to make myself more frugal. And I tried to be shrewd. So instead of getting an apartment that was going to cost me, okay, I had 3-bedroom apartment. Instead of just going to get 1-bedroom apartment, I said, no, I would not even go and get an apartment. I went back to the dormitory. I remember I was in the hostel dormitory as a student, and I lived there when I was not having the ego. I was a student, so it was like normal to be living in the dormitory as a student. But now that I was a worker, I was on TV, and at this point they were showing me on TV. I was a TV personality. So I was saying I don't even care. So I went to approach one of my friends that was living in the dormitory. He was still a student. So I went to him and I said, hey, bro, do you think I could get a room in this your dormitory? So he said, oh yeah. He said one of my neighbors, he had three bedroom, three beds in his room. And he said, actually, I'm the only one here now. One of my neighbors went married and he's moved over to an apartment. And another one just, he doesn't come. He doesn't even come to sleep here. So I said, hey, how much will it cost? A bed, just for the price of a bed. I only needed to pay for the bed. And that brought my budget very low. Instead of me paying 10 times the amount or maybe 20 times the amount that I was paying for the apartment, I just needed to pay maybe 5% or a very small fraction of what I used to pay. So I buried my ego very fast. And I changed my apartment. It was not an apartment I got. I got a very, I went back to live as a student. That would not take anything from me. I know who I was, and you know who you are inside. And, there are seasons like that in life. There will be times in life when you will need to change your status. Not for, not because it's going to be permanent, but not even that it's going to be convenient. It might not be convenient to you, and it might be disgraceful at times, or you might even feel ashamed sometimes. But sometimes you need to do what you need to do to conserve money so that you'll be able to save money and you have enough money to now start afresh. We all need a new beginning from time to time. We all need a new beginning, a fresh beginning, time and time again. So in case you are that person that is saying, okay, I don't have enough money, the income is small, find ways of reducing your expenses. Maybe you need to change your apartment. Maybe you need to change your car. Maybe you need to reduce, cut your ego into two, slice your ego, slice it. Maybe you need to slice it and just leave about 10% of it. Or maybe you need to just cut that ego and just reduce it so that, you make yourself go through the inconvenience. Because so it's not always easy to save. It's not always easy to find what to save. And most people that want to save, they don't have what, especially to begin to save is the most difficult thing to do. Because most people don't have enough money to begin to save from. Most people are already in debt, or they're already too poor, or they're already earning too little. So to now begin to think of an idea of saving is it's like it's not possible. But you must cause it to be possible. You must make it to be possible. You must start to save. Even if you need to, like in my case, I got rid of my car. I was having like, they used to, and that's, it was a liability. It was taking money from me. My ego was costing me too much. My ego was too expensive. So I got maybe. Well, are we back? It's like it's freezing. Yeah, so I think we are back. It's frozen, but it's unfrozen already. So what I'm saying is that starting to save could be painful. Could be painful. Starting to save could be very painful. But you have to close your eyes at times in life. Just close your eyes and swallow the pain. You need to close your eyes sometimes and just swallow the shame as well, and just say, what, I need to do what I need to do. And that no condition is permanent. No condition is permanent. Just know that will not be a permanent thing, because you need to cut back so that you will be able to build a better future for yourself. You need to, you shouldn't be ashamed of starting from the scratch. You shouldn't be ashamed of going to square one, so that from square one, you could build a better foundation for yourself. Many of us are living the wrong foundation. Many of us are living the wrong image that we don't deserve. Many of us are living the wrong reputation. We are having an inflicted reputation where we have built a reputation of middle class or rich or wealthy or well-to-do or this and that. And some people call it packaging. We need to package ourselves well. If you don't deserve it, if you don't have the money for it, why don't you just even get rid of it and go and get the money to start with initially first? So, everybody has a beginning. Everybody has a beginning. And your beginning will not be permanent. It's not, if you know what you are after. If you know that what you are after is the top, you will get to the top. But you need to start from somewhere. So, and for you to start from somewhere, you might just need to, to get rid of the fake life that you are living right now. And frankly speaking, that time when I was, when I was having that car, the Mercedes car of this country, Volga, and when I was living in that 3-bedroom apartment, even though, I was not borrowing to have that lifestyle, it was my salary. I had the salary, I had the income, but I had not grown into it. I was actually, living my tomorrow today that time. I was living the lifestyle of tomorrow. So many of us are actually living the lifestyle of tomorrow. So your future lifestyle that you are not qualified for, you are already living it today. And that's a problem. You have to cut your lifestyle that is bigger than you today, cut it back, cut your coat according to your size. And, reduce that lifestyle. Begin to even reduce. Even if you deserve it and you can afford it, because that's what I used to think. I thought I could afford it. Even if you could afford it, but how long will I be able to afford it? And can I afford it in such a way? Because let me tell you the principle behind what you use, what you spend, and the house you live in. You should only live in a house that you know you have an investment that is 2 or 3 times the cost of the house that you are living in. So you must have some money reserves that that are working for you. Let's say your house is costing $100,000. You only have the right to live in that house of $100,000 if you have $300,000 somewhere in investment working for you. Or let's say you are paying a rent for, let's say you are paying a $300 rent. If you are paying $300 rent for your apartment or mortgage for your apartment or for your house, then you must make sure that you have $1,000 working for you, which is your own money working for you in your business or in investment. That is, that is your money. But if you are living in a house that is costing you $300 every month, and you don't have an investment of $300, then you are living your tomorrow today. Or if you are living in a house of $100,000 and you don't have another $100,000 working for you somewhere, then you are living your future today. You are squandering your future. You are burning your future today. So in that kind of situation, those are the cases that will tell you that no, right now I need to cut my expenses. Right now I need to swallow the bitter pill of, speaking to myself, of humbling myself. I need to humble myself right now. I need to cut, let everybody say, because in our culture, I don't know how your culture sees this, but in my culture, where I come from, people tend to tell you, even Christian culture says this sometimes to people. People try to tell you that it's bad or it's a curse or is something, they kind of put some negative notation to it, that if you used to live at a higher lifestyle, or you used to maintain a higher lifestyle, and now you come down as if you are unlucky, or you are cursed, or you are unfortunate, or you are misfortuned, that he's so. Some people will even try to pity you. They will try to say, oh, wow, what a pity, brother or sister. Oh, this family, it's a pity. This family used to enjoy this lifestyle. They used to have this big house. They used to have this big car. Oh, it's a pity. What a pity it is that now they have to, cut their expenses, and now they are living in that small house. Or some people they will even tell you, oh, you used to live at the eyebrow area of the city. They used to live in that big house, in that big area of the city. They used to do well. And they think that you are not doing well. But I personally knew that when I was cutting my expenses and I left the big house to move to to just one bed, one room, not just one room, actually, one, I was sharing a room with students and went to the dormitory. I knew why I was doing that. I was so sure that I would not remain in that dormitory. I knew I would not remain in that condition. I knew that condition was not. I knew I was doing that intentionally. I actually knew that I could afford to live in a better place. I could still afford to live, but if I go ahead and live in a better place, I will be shopping off my money of the future. Then one day that money will finish, and then I will still be forced to come to square one anyway. So I knew why I was doing what I was doing. I knew why I got rid of my car. I knew why I was now walking on feet. I knew why I couldn't afford a car anymore. People are saying, oh, you used to use this big car and now you are walking on feet. I knew why I was walking on feet, because while I was walking on feet, I was saving money to build my future. While I was living in that little dormitory, I knew I was saving the money that I was supposed to be consuming on myself, on my ego. I was now saving it for my future. So I knew, I was suffering temporarily right now because I was building towards my future. So don't ever be ashamed and don't ever be embarrassed by the fact that you need to suffer some losses or some reduction in size or some slicing of your budget or slicing of your lifestyle or even slicing of your ego temporarily, especially when you know what you are after, when you know that slicing is saving you money, is keeping money in your pocket, and you know what you are going to do with that money later on. You are going to use that money to get wisdom. You are going to use that money to get investment. You are going to use that money to build your future. So it is actually worth it to save today, rather than to live big today and then don't have a future tomorrow. It is preferable to save today, not to have the flashy and beautiful lifestyle today, to suffer today so that you will live big tomorrow. So don't be afraid of suffering today. Don't be afraid of depriving yourself of some comfort today or some pleasure today, so that you'll be able to live better tomorrow. Tomorrow is still better anyway. It's better to think of tomorrow and to build tomorrow. You need to build your tomorrow. But unfortunately, in our culture today, many people say, you must enjoy today because you don't know what will happen tomorrow. That is a wrong philosophy. If you want to enjoy today and spend all your money today, then you will not have it tomorrow. You will not have it tomorrow. Your future will not, your children will not have it tomorrow. Your family will not have it tomorrow. But it's better to deny yourself today the comfort of today so that you'll be able to have the benefit of tomorrow. So that's one thing you want to think about. Your first step to financial freedom is to do anything possible. To begin to save. You need to begin to save. And you, like I said, somebody said, "This is great deliverance you are doing to me." Thank you, man of God. Yes. Yeah, because, and I was glad. Let me tell you how that story ended. I was glad I did that. So I think you need to know the way the story ended. Okay, I didn't have a car, and I never had another car till I had built a church of 2,000 people. And I'm so glad I did that, because the money that was supposed to be going into the fuel, into the oil, into the maintenance of the car, repairs, I was using it to do evangelism. I was putting all the money, because that was my business, Church was my business. So I was not selling and buying. I was not doing business, money business. But I knew that church, if I could build the church in a way that enough people will come to the church, if I would deny myself now and put all the money in doing advertisement. So I was putting my money to do TV program. I was paying for TV program. I was, you putting my money in TV. So by the time, the money was, going to, expose me to the country, to the community, and more people were coming. The church was growing. I was still working on foot. Even by the time I was having 1,000 people, I was still working on foot, and I still didn't have an apartment. When I had 2,000 people, I still didn't have an apartment of my own, and I still didn't have a car. But when we had 2,000 people, I knew that if I could I was planning to build 1,000 people. I knew that if I have 1,000 people in my church, I'll be able to afford anything I needed. I'll be able to afford a car. I'll be able to afford a house. But even when we had 1,000 people, I was not in a hurry to buy a car, and I was not in a hurry to buy a house. I still kept on putting that money back into the church, back into growing the church. So now when the church was 2,000, now we could now buy a car, but that money we were using for the car was just a fragment of what we were making. So it didn't cost us any much anymore. It was not painful anymore. It's unlike what I would have done before. I would have been using my last money to ride. I would have been riding on my last money. I would have been burning my last money, in that car, using that car to burn up my last money. But you don't do that. And for you to ride a car, you must make sure that you have at least 10, maybe 5 or 10 times the amount of that money for the car somewhere working for you. Maybe not just in saving, but in investment. So if you have let's say you have a car that is costing $10,000, so you must have $50,000 working for you somewhere before you can ride, before you could qualify yourself to ride a car of $10,000. And if you're having a car of $20,000, then you must make sure that you have $100,000 working somewhere for you. That is only when you are qualified to ride in a car of $20,000. So, that's the way we should look at finances. That's the way we should look at money. So at that point, when I was not having money, I was using the money to generate growth, to build my business. My business was church. And when my business was big enough, we could only use maybe 1% of our income to buy a car, and that was not costing us anymore. It is no more using like 50% of our income to buy a car, or 100% of our money to buy a car. That was not going to be wise. So now that I had built a future for myself, because by having 2,000 member church, that is a future already. I have future for myself. It will only grow from there. It will only go up. And since I will still consider the principle of adding more people and putting more money into the growing of the church, I was not going to remain where I was. So definitely, that decision I made by going to live in the dormitory, it paid, because the money went to paying for the church, and then the money for that was supposed to go for the car was going for evangelism, and we built a strong structure. Then I left the dormitory. I was able to afford myself an apartment. Then I was able to marry. Then I was able to get another bigger apartment also. Then I was able to get a car that I needed. Then another car. So it pays off to build and invest in the future. It pays off to deny yourself today, so that you'll be able to save to do something with whatever you have saved to build yourself a better future. Okay, so that's it. I want you to write what you think about this teaching. Do you think maybe I was laughing too much this time, but maybe it helped somebody. If it helps you, I want to hear of your decisions. Okay, I don't just want you to write "Thank you, Pastor," or that was a great word. You don't need to praise me. I'm okay, but I need to hear your decisions. I need to hear your decisions. What this teaching has done to you or for you. Do you think this is blessing you? Do you think it's helping you? Do you think the teaching is what you needed or what you need? Do you think you learned something new? What do you plan to do with what you've learned today? As we do that, let's go ahead and share the link as well. You remember, this is a second recording I'm doing. I actually, we didn't share much link here. So let's go ahead and share. Please go back to your timeline and share the link if you can. Or if you have a share button under your video, share the link, please. Let's share this link. It could be a deliverance to somebody else. So, but meanwhile, I want to see, nobody is writing anything. Nobody is telling me what they feel about this teaching. Did you get anything from it? What are you planning to do? What are your decisions? Normally it's Kike Lomo that writes something. She is very constructive. But I'm not seeing her comments yet. Okay, maybe they are still writing. I guess people are still writing. Oh, Kike Lomo wrote something here already before. The fight is real. The battle of my ego is a challenge. I will overcome. I pray so. All of us have to overcome that battle of our ego. That's Kike was writing that. Kike, I would die to self daily so that I can make sound financial decisions. Making sound financial decisions is called a shrewdness. So you are going to be shrewd like an Ijebu lady now. Kunle Ajala said, make a new budget every month, cut up your credit cards, pay off your debt. Yes, that's one of the things you could do. Yeah, we are going to talk more about that tomorrow and this week. Layo Charles Emmanuel said, thank you, Pastor. The practicality of the message is the most exciting thing about it. Thank you for not just telling us what to do, but showing us how to go about it with all the examples you gave. Midian Souza said, I need prayer. Oh, well, whatever your need might be, I pray with you and I agree with you right now. I pray for total deliverance, victory, blessing, and whatsoever that need is, God will fulfill it. He will answer your prayers and He will fulfill your need right now in Jesus' name. Amen. Clement Osuho says, Clement and Elizabeth, I think, you are very sincere. God bless you. Thank you. Well, that's about me. I need to hear what you are going to do with what you learned. I don't want you people to write about me. I want you to write about what you are going to do with what you learned. Or are you learning anything? Did you get anything or not? Blessira says it's helpful. Okay. Kazim Ahmed says, it makes me feel I have really wasted a lot. Oh yeah, that's what it made you feel. But what's going to be your decision? What are you going to do after that? Otome Justin says, I thank God for people like you. These teachings you share with us are beyond what money can buy. They are words of wisdom from a father to his children. You are indeed a blessing to us, sir. Thank you so much. Well, thank God. I hope you'll be able to do something with it. Action is what we need. Shidi says, I enjoyed every bit of the teaching. You did, but what will you do? The idea is not just to enjoy it, because I'm not an entertainer, you know. What people go to do in churches is just to go and get themselves to enjoy. But I don't want you to just enjoy my teachings. I want you to do something about it. Toby McCormick says, it is very helpful. I plan in continuing to save good money and also to stop being so impulsive. That's wise. That is now a good thing. Niran Kola Wale says, I really learned a lot. I see that I need to cut back my expenses and put money in the ministry that God has put into my hands. Thanks so much for this. Okay. Okay, Kazim is now saying, I will save more definitely. All right. I like that better now. I like that better. Esther says, great teaching today. I will start saving with immediate effect, though it's tough. Yeah, but you know, if you can cut your coat according to your size, if you could slice your ego a little bit, you might just have something to save. Oladapo Philip said, I have to DJ Bulalize. You are DJ Buba too. I was thinking, what word is that? DJ Bulalize himself. But there are good, some of the good things that the Jebus have is that they are frugal and shrewd. So you need to learn that and then do less party. Kunle Ajala said, list anything that is losing you money, that is causing you to lose money, and figure out how much you are losing per year. This can include credit card debt, your mortgage, and any loans. Subscribe this number from the first number. The number you have now represents your net worth. Thank you. That's a good exercise to do. That's from Kunle Ajala. Then Esther Kuganja says, decision. Ego has cost me a lot in the past, but not anymore. Bye-bye, ego. Welcome savings and investments. That is brilliant. T. Mark says, Pastor, I have already swallowed my ego. Kike says, oh, yes, so like an Ijebu lady now. Evangelist Claude says, I was living my tomorrow today. Now I'm planning to live my today and save and invest for my tomorrow. That is brilliant. Now we are talking. Now you are responding the way I really needed you to respond. Osheja Austin says, real life story with tremendous joy and undeniable progress is embedded if you live a simple, humble beginning, not spend for status sake and peer pressure. Yes, I came to Lagos about 4 years and deliberately refused to rent a house in areas of 1 million naira and above. In 2 years, I have built a mansion of my own comparable to any standard in the world. Wow, what a testimony. What a testimony. That is a good one. Brilliant. I have to applaud for you for that. I have to clap for you. Brilliant, brilliant. And that goes ahead, I mean, a long way to confirm what I'm saying, that the brother that wrote that actually cut his coat according to his, he didn't eat his tomorrow's money for today. He didn't live in the house of tomorrow today. Now he's living in the house that he deserves now after he had denied himself yesterday. Bena Lahiri said, I learned today how to save. Good. Obadare Shegun says, can taking up an insurance policy be a good way to say or to save? Okay, can taking up an insurance policy a good way to save? I'm tempted to answer you, but I don't want to answer you right now. because I'm going to get into that later on. But maybe I should just answer it. Maybe you will not be here next time. Don't bother about insurance until you have enough to spare. First of all, build some wealth for yourself before you begin to buy insurance, because insurance policies most of the time make the people rich. It makes the insurer rich, not you, because they are going to work with your money and make a lot of money out of you. Tatiana Shigrin, I need to save money all my life when I am still poor and even when I become rich. Yes, that's a good lesson. Phyllis Meek says, confirmation of upcoming, what? Topics or shops? I don't know what that is. Emilov says, it's a blessed word. Okay, thank you. Olukayode Ekundayo said, the teaching is a confirmation of my past decisions. I had to cut my ego in the past. Thank God. Obina said, I've already swallowed my ego. I've already swallowed my egos, or swallowed my ego, I guess. Obi Ojibadu says, ego is a self-destructive instrument. We need to cut our size according to our code. I need to take further Ijebu lessons. There are some Ijebu lessons today. Wow. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We've been here for almost 1.5 hours today, because we had almost half an hour lost in that other recording. So thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be dealing with how further we could save money and how we could get ourselves to save when we think we don't have enough to save. God bless you. Talk to you tomorrow. Blessings. Bye.